In today's world, digital marketing has become an essential tool for businesses. But the big question is, how can you do digital marketing as well as do it well? CEO of GTEX Group, Stephen Akintayo, joins us to discuss how to develop an effective digital marketing strategy.
Welcome to Tech Trends.
Thank you very much.
So Stephen, let's just start with how can I develop an effective digital media strategy?
Well, that's oftentimes the question, how do I? But for me is that you need to get a consultant really. Digital marketing is a whole lot of industry and it's complex because it's diverse. There's several aspects to it. Social media marketing is there, email marketing is there, SEO is there, web marketing is there. So it's quite broad. And for you to have an effective bite at it, you need to consult and get a good team who can help you look at what you want to do and then come up with something fantastic for you.
But not everyone can afford to hire a consultant.
Yes, of course, but...
so for those kind of people, what should they do?
YouTube is a consultant. Google is a consultant. Okay, you can. I tell people, I said today, Google is the new God. In our days when you have issues, your parent will tell you to go and pray. But now, our children, when they have issues, just say, Google it. Okay, so you can get a lot of information about digital marketing, digital media on Google. If you can't afford it, then go read about it. Watch videos about it. There are tons and tons of materials that will educate you. But unfortunately, sometimes we undermine the importance of digital marketing, and that's why we're not willing to invest in the needed research to learn more about what it will help us.
For some people who are watching this program at this point in time, they might be having issues understanding the whole concept of digital marketing and digital media. So let's help them. Let's demystify the concept. Even if they need to hire a consultant, where do they start from? What do they need to know? What metrics do they need to measure? Things like that. Let's help.
Well, basically, digital marketing is marketing your product and services online, using online platforms such as email marketing, social media marketing, SEO, email marketing, mobile marketing. It's quite wide. Every major online platforms, okay, can be called digital marketing when you're marketing using those platforms. So the first thing to do is to look at your product, look at your market. Okay, what best way can I communicate with these people online? We all know now that a lot of people are now online. Okay, the first one is for our industry, for our market in Nigeria and Africa generally, mobile seems to be very effective, mobile marketing. You have over 90 million subscribers and almost everybody has a phone. Okay, so how can I market to them? Okay, using their phones. So it's as simple as that. It's not a rocket science. Just the same method of marketing, but this time around doing it using online platforms.
But is there a one-size-fits-all approach, or how would they approach it for different industries?
Well, the issue is that why also sometimes people think it's complex is that they're somehow related. For example, I can choose to do a video marketing now. I can decide to do a video, upload it on probably YouTube, and still market that same video with mobile marketing. Send bulk SMS with the link of that video and still use that to market that video. Thereby those who watch it get to see what I'm trying to market. So it's somehow sometimes interrelated. That same video, I can push an email campaign to try to market that same video. I don't know that you understand. So sometimes it's just a function of what you're selling, okay, and the strategy you want to use to sell it, and of course the various platforms available. And that's why you need to really get counsel, because there are just so many platforms.
Social media is an essential and often brilliant platform for businesses to communicate with their customers. But with the continuous release of different kinds of social media platforms, some businesses might find it difficult and challenging to identify the right one that works best for them.
A lot of SMEs will tell you that these platforms are so many, they don't know where to start from, that they have very little time because they are busy chasing one customer or the other. So assuming I'm into HR consulting, what platforms would you recommend that I focus on specifically?
Okay, two things. One is if you're into HR, you're more into education, and blog is one of the most fantastic things you want to do. get a blog, it's a very good blog, and upload regular content, wonderful content. Because the way it works, first of all, is about volume and quality. Now, the way it works, you need like minimum 25 articles daily if you really want to get to that point.
25 articles daily?
Yes. If you really want to get to that point where naturally...
How long would you do this?
You have to be consistent. Because this is how it works. When I go to Google and I'm typing how to improve on my career, okay, will I see your article as an HR consultant? And by that, I read your article, and of course that cannot translate into me doing business with you. Okay, and that's how it works. So you have to chunk in quality content in terms of blogging, and of course volume in terms of a huge number of content. Of course, sometimes you can now do the paid one because we have organic and we have paid. So you can just have few content, but this time around you are monetizing them. You probably are using Google AdWords to promote such. But really what I advise is that just go study. The same way you can self-medicate and say, okay, I know my problem is malaria, let me just use this. So why not, is either you go spend 7 years to become a doctor, okay, or a pharmacist. The same way digital marketing, there are a lot of courses out there. We even have a school, digital marketing school. There are various courses you can come for. And there are some of them that are even for businesses, digital marketing for businesses, where you as a CEO, MD CEO, get to understand what digital marketing is about. And so when you involve a consultant or hire a consultant, you know what to ask them to do. Because that's also another problem. Sometimes we confuse ICT with marketing consulting. It's two different things. So I may know how to design a website, but I don't know how to market a website. Two different things. For example, I encourage people, you can't be on all social media platforms. You can't. It doesn't make sense. Of course, you may have an account on all of them, but you have to be specific. One, you may have to spend 80% of your energy pushing one, and the other, you just so that people can find you on those platforms and know you exist. But one is a major tool you now use. Yeah.
So for your kind of business, what are the ones that you focus on?
Okay, I'm into a lot of training, into a lot of consulting about products. So I do a lot of email marketing. It's very effective. Mobile marketing, fantastic.
But people complain that emails hardly get read. So how do you measure when your email campaign is
now
successful?
Again, that's the beauty of digital marketing. Okay, it's measurable compared to radio, TV, or other conventional platforms. Now, if I put an advert on a newspaper, I can't really measure how many people saw my advert. The fact that, okay, we can even say, let's say 100,000 people purchased that newspaper, doesn't mean all of them took their time to go through my own particular advert. Okay, you can't measure. But digital marketing, you can measure. Almost all the email platforms have their reporting system. They can tell you how many bounce rate, how many open rate, and things like that. And of course, that's also where training comes in. Because your subject title is a critical aspect of email campaign. In fact, for example, Obama campaign discovered that the word HEY was the most opened subject title, okay, when they did email campaign. So there are so many tricks to some of these things that you need to know. Yes, it's true, email marketing open rate is lesser than compared to mobile marketing. For example, you send an SMS advert. Under 24 hours, in most cases 10 minutes, people have checked their phone and they've seen it. Email marketing, sometimes it takes 24 hours, sometimes it takes some days, okay? But the constraint again is that mobile marketing, you are limited. You have just 160 characters. With email, you can do a lot of storytelling, pictures, you can have a link, taking them to a landing page and things like that. But it all boils down to, the technical know-how, knowing really the best way to go about these things. Yeah.
For a small business owner, or a business owner for that matter, now how do we ensure that the activity they see from their digital media campaigns actually translate into sales? Because that's very critical, and that's one challenge a lot of businesses have.
Yeah, I think sometimes because of lack of education, sometimes we want to market like conglomerates. Okay, so for example, an average telecom company will just do an advert, you know, one thing, before you know it, they mention their name everywhere you go or something. Okay, you as an SM, you can't do that. Okay, so you have to focus more on direct messaging that can almost convince the client to say, you know, these are the processes involved in doing business with us. Now, I have this principle I teach on social media, 60-20-20. Use 60% of your energy to educate people about your industry if you want to market on social media.
Not your product.
Not your product. Use the remaining 20%, another 20% to market, to talk about what is the difference between your own solution in that industry, what makes your own solution in that industry unique. And then use the remaining 20% to do direct marketing. This time around, I have this product, the price is so, I have a promo. If you pay between so and so time, you have so discount, pay to so, kill it right there. Okay, but sometimes we do 100% of this one we should have done 60% for. And then of course, sometimes we also do 100% of the one we should do 20% for. And that affects us because people only trust individuals that are professional in the field, individuals that educate them about that industry. So I'd rather, you know, buy makeup, you know, kit from somebody who talks a lot about makeup and best methods to apply makeup than someone who just say buy makeup. So you spend 60% of your energy educating them about your industry, 20% telling them why you are different from others, and then of course 20% doing direct marketing. No stories, buy this product with, you know, I'm giving you promo, I'm giving you discounts, get it right now. And this is how you can reach me. Phone numbers to call, or office address, or email, and you want to be open-ended. Some of us, we run businesses as if, you know, we are one, you know, huge, you know, you have to be a lot humble and be open to take, you know, social media is about interaction. So you can't close your door and say, why am I not making money on social media? You want them to talk, you want them to engage you want them to call you, you want them to send you a mail.
Finally, Stephen, how do you think that government can help strengthen the digital media and marketing industry so that it becomes better organized and probably more regulated? Just like every other important profession.
Government need to really understand the tech industry. They really need to. Okay, how does it work? What are the potentials in this industry? Okay, you understand what I'm saying? When you know that, then it's easy for you to formulate policies, documents, and things that can really help the industry to move forward. So for me, I would advise that government should really engage the stakeholders in the industry. And when I mean engage, I'm not saying do seminars and do retreats that you'll be the one speaking to them, okay? But rather, have a think-tank team where you can pull from these guys in the private sector who are the main guys in the industry and can tell you this is how this industry works. Okay, and from there you can now say what are your challenges and how can we put policies in place and documents in place that can protect both you, the consumer, of course the government itself. And for me, I think that's really where we need to start.
I guess I'm going to leave it there.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, you've heard from my guest, Stephen. The truth of the matter is that digital media has come to stay, and it's very important for you as a small business, or as a business owner for that matter, to tap into this growing industry. We'll be right back. We've come to the end of today's show. However, the conversation continues online. Remember, you can watch these and previous editions of the show on the channel's TV YouTube account or via my blog techsmart.ng. For Tech Trends, I'm Chukwemeka Agbata.